Scrapbooking.com magazine presents the following Meet the Artist article from the October 2012 issue, Samantha Walker, by Judy Kaufman. Samantha Walker always knew that she wanted to do art in some shape and form, and that she would work for herself. She majored in illustration and design at Brigham Young University and imagined a career illustrating children's books. After graduation, she worked at a graphic design service bureau. She quit to take a summer job as a waitress near Yellowstone Park, bought a truck, and moved to Montana, where a casual conversation with a customer led her to Colorado. On the weekend she arrived in Colorado Springs, she met her future husband, Jonathan. They were engaged in 6 weeks, married 2 months later. He was an Army helicopter pilot, and she moved to Japan with him. After another move, this time to Washington, she had a son and opened her own interior decorating business. Then Samantha discovered Memory Makers magazine on the rack at a grocery store and began scrapbooking. I was getting my supplies at a country store market. I didn't even know there were scrapbook stores. I used things from the hardware store and solid color paper at first. I entered contests and kept winning. I was a runner-up the first time I entered Memory Makers Masters, and eventually I won a trip to Camp Memory Makers, where I met Stacy Carone from Spellbinders 7 years ago. Samantha's talents began taking her in a new direction. When I was a Memory Makers Master, I went to CHA in Atlanta, and as much as I loved working for magazines, I knew I wanted to work for manufacturers, so I put together a portfolio. Karen Russell introduced me to Jack Belmer, president of Creative Imaginations. We worked together for 7 years. I created with paint and with the computer. I designed everything from papers to embellishments, she told us. I hated the computer in college and swore I would never use it. Now I love it, working with shapes and lines and layers. Samantha now has 3 children, sons ages 10 and 5, and a daughter who's 6. Art is something I can do from home, she said. For a long time, the work I didn't do, children's books and magazine illustration, nagged at me. I finally came to realize that what I'm doing now is even better than what I thought I wanted to do. Samantha's work spans many categories. That long-ago meeting with Stacy Carone at Spellbinders led her to a licensing agreement, and they've worked together for the last 2 years. Stacy's got that energy about her. I kept visiting her at CHA shows, and then the time was right for us to work together. Samantha said, "I'm in a very good place. I work about 5 hours during the day and continue after the children are in bed till about 1 in the morning, 7 days a week. In their free time, the family takes the truck out and goes rock crawling. Jonathan's job flying for SkyWest gives them free and discounted flights. They took a dream trip to Paris and stayed on a houseboat on the Seine just blocks from the Eiffel Tower. You can see the influence of the trip in the Paris-themed die templates Samantha designed for Spellbinders." When asked what's next, Samantha said she wants to continue doing what she's doing, but she still has the feeling there's a children's book in her future too. We hope you enjoyed this article from Scrapbooking.com magazine. Please check out all of the great articles and projects in this month's issue.